So I was reading in Luke 17. I actually looked at this, it's been a little while ago, but one day I was just having a tough time and I felt like this was a space in the scriptures where the Lord was speaking to me. And y'all, the Lord he's so funny, right? He will get you, he's patient, he's loving, he is kind. But y'all, he will get you in check if you're tripping for absolutely no reason. And this was one of those days for me. So this scripture is starting in verse number 7 through number 10. And it says, which of you who has a servant plowing or tending to sheep will say to him when he comes from the field, come at once and sit down to eat? Will he not instead say to him, prepare for me something to eat and appropriately clothe yourself and serve me while I eat and drink, and then afterward you may eat and drink? What he's saying in those first two passages is that a servant's job is to be a servant. And just because they went out and did the work that they are supposed to do does not mean that they therefore need to be rewarded for such work. And that is still appropriate for them, even after they've done what they are doing, to still continue to work. It is important that we recognize that through this, that our work is never done. Verse number 9, he does not thank the servant just because he did what he was ordered to do, does he? Many of us have trouble when it comes to serving God because we think that God owes us something. He literally, if he does nothing else, I know this is cliche and I know this is not what we want to hear because I don't be wanting to hear it, but if he never does another thing, think about what he did for us at the cross. Think about the life that he lived, coming down off of his throne for us to die a death that we deserved in our place. He did all of that for us. And so, us serving him does not compare to what he has done for us. And when we serve him, we're not doing him a favor. You know, like if we were never to do anything else for God in this life, He's going to be just fine. And even what we do, whether we serve Him or not, does not affect Him. Who it affects is us. Though, He does not really benefit from what we do, He still is someday when we leave this earth and if we stand firm to the end, then we'll hear, well done, thy good and faithful servant, and we will be rewarded. But we must understand, y'all, as it says in verse number 10, so you too, when you have done everything that was assigned and commanded you, say, we are unworthy servants and we have merely done what we ought to do. In other words, it's not to say that none of the things that we do aren't good and God doesn't acknowledge it and that He's not proud of us, but it does mean that we are not to get beside ourselves and think that we are so perfect and that he somehow owes us something because we are doing what we are supposed to be doing as his followers in the first place. And this actually is good for us in two ways. One, it keeps us from having a self righteous attitude if we keep this in perspective. And two, it also keeps us from trying to work our way into salvation because he does good for us regardless of what we do for him. Because really and truthfully, what we're doing for him is genuinely the bare minimum. And so, y'all, when he does good things for us, it is not because of what anything that we have done, but it's simply because he loves us and wants to do those things.